staying on with updates from the cyclone. Sri Lanka continues to reel from the devastation left behind by Cyclone Ditwah. India has stepped in with a major humanitarian push under Operation Sagar Bandhu. The operation was launched by India immediately after Cyclone Ditwah made landfall on November the 27th, causing severe damage across Sri Lanka. India's humanitarian and disaster relief response is to support Sri Lanka through flying in supplies, deploying National Disaster Response Force, assisting local authorities, and also evacuating stranded Indian nationals. The final group of Indians stranded in Sri Lanka was brought home earlier this morning. At least 104 passengers who had been stuck at Colombo's international airport were flown to Thiruvananthapuram on an Indian Air Force aircraft that touched down at dawn. The Indian High Commission released visuals from the airport showing passengers preparing to return home. The last batch came just hours after more than 300 Indians were evacuated on Sunday night from flood and landslide hit regions. Evacuation efforts continued throughout the day, both through commercial airlines and Indian Air Force aircraft. One military transport aircraft carrying 247 passengers left for Thiruvananthapuram, while another flew 76 passengers to Delhi's Hindon Air Base. The High Commission kept its emergency help desk running round the clock for anyone still stranded. Alongside the evacuations, India has also been bolstering Sri Lanka's own rescue operations. Chetak helicopters from INS Vikrant flew repeated rescue flights over areas cut off by landslides, particularly across the Central Highlands. With roads washed away, air support became the only way to reach people stranded on rooftops and hill slopes. The Indian Air Force also conducted a hybrid rescue mission on November 30th, using Mi-17 helicopters navigating through restricted and heavily damaged terrain. The Indian Air Force has been at the heart of the operation, sending transport aircraft, medical teams, trauma care units and large quantities of relief material to Colombo. Medical teams travelled with Bisham, which are compact, rapid deployment mobile medical units equipped for on-site diagnostics and emergency surgical care. These specialised systems were sent at the request of Sri Lanka's Health Ministry. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed his condolences for the lives lost in Sri Lanka. In a message on X, he said he was praying for the safety and swift recovery of all those affected, adding that India had rushed relief in solidarity with our closest maritime neighbour. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar echoed that support, emphasising the close coordination between NDRF teams and Sri Lankan authorities. Sri Lanka has declared a national emergency. The death toll has climbed past 300. With India's air and naval forces driving relief under Operation Sagar Bandhu, Sri Lanka remains in a critical phase of rescue and recovery. And while stranded Indians are now safely home, the focus shifts to supporting Sri Lanka as it works to rebuild after one of its most devastating disasters in years.
They promised glory. They delivered fear. They shaped nations. They scarred generations. From brutal purges to propaganda machines, from stolen power to violent falls from the throne. Welcome to The Dictator, a series that strips away the myth and then exposes the men behind the tyranny. History remembers their power. Firstpost reveals their truth.